It's only you. Nobody else there can help you. So definitely, stay in touch with yourself and realize that you have to be on top of your game. So, there's no excuse or anything else. You definitely can help out somebody else. If you're on top of your game, you can help somebody else. Don't let anything that you're doing deter you from still utilizing every every single part of you. Because some people say you're doing too much, and I beg the difference. You know, I I beg the difference because a lot of times people kind of misunderstand you. So you have to still keep projecting yourself out. Even when you mess up, still keep projecting yourself out. And hopefully, people will not necessarily, because this is what mess people up. They can't comprehend you. They can't, like, how some basketball players are unorthodox, and some people they never necessarily figure you out or whatever, and that, what I'm saying, they steady trying to figure you out. So sometimes people will be negative towards you, not that just because they don't know you, they trying to figure you out. So it's good to project yourself like you want yourself to be seen. You know what I mean? You have to tell and project your story onto this life. It's very important. You have to do that for yourself. No matter who else is out there with their opinions on what they think about your life, you have to do that for yourself. And anybody going into another situation from another situation, make sure you kind of put that situation to bed before you move on to the next thing. It's just so tough sometimes, dragging that stuff along with you. But like I was saying before I got into that, just continue to project yourself as you want yourself to be seen. You got to mentally visualize how you want you to be seen. It's going to build your confidence and help you kind of mold your character, mold yourself. You have to see that. It is so important. If you can't see the image of yourself out there, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place sometimes, because you can't necessarily figure yourself out. So you need to actually see yourself, know yourself, interact with yourself. That way you're 100% comfortable when you go into different environments, because it all reflects back to boom, what am I projecting out to these people? And watch what you're doing, because that's what you're projecting. Now, if your mindset is not lined up with your manifesting, then it's gonna be, confusing to you and to everybody else. He's saying this or whatever, but that's not what his hands is doing. So be careful of that. You may be saying something, but you're doing something else. Make sure it's lining up. If you're gonna do the other thing, but just make sure it's lining up. Because if you don't do that, people gonna, take you this way or that way. So make sure you're consistent. Explain yourself sometimes, even when you may not even think that is necessary, but it helps other people to understand you, because they may not say anything, but they may take it a certain type of way. And the only thing that you want to do is make sure that you're communicating who you are to any and everybody that that you necessarily care about. How you know other people, you can just leave them wondering. But the people that you're close to, you want to let them know that, hey, this is my thought process on that. So sometimes when you talk to them in the near future, they understand where you're coming from. But some people won't understand where you're coming from because they don't know you, or you're not necessarily projecting who you are, so that they haven't been around you long enough. So sometimes don't get upset with people you run into, and you don't necessarily just hit it off or whatever. He's trying to figure it out. You trying to figure him out, and it's just a clash. So it's, people push buttons and stuff like that to try to figure people out. But after they figure it out, I'm like, man, I wish I'd have knew that before because man, you a pretty nice, nice cat, So well, let's go, let's go hang out, man, grab a beer or something. I mean, or anything or whatever. It could be the same way with a female or whatever, or a coworker or whatever. And sometimes if you don't put yourself out there, they not gonna do the same thing either. You gotta project the person that you want everybody else to see. It's so important, man. What are you projecting to the other people at work? What are you projecting to anybody? Because that's what they're gonna remember you by. I promise. And watch what you're listening to. It will affect, because this is the thing. Don't watch a scary movie or some stupid, crazy type of movie before you go to bed. Or don't get into an argument and then go into another conversation with somebody else. You're going to take that energy along with you. And that's what they're going to see, what you're projecting. You may think that you're, you know, passionate about this or whatever, but you've actually took the energy from a bad situation to a situation that was moving somewhere, and you killed it. I mean, dead. It's over. Because they're gonna be like, that's not you, what you projected to me earlier. That's you breaking patterns. You know, humans are always looking for patterns or faces or things to relate people to, so they remember, like a cornerstone. That's what they do. That's what we do. Like if you, oh, this person likes pizza, and be like, oh yeah, 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 I know that guy, because that's what you have to place in your subconscious that helps you remember that person. We was at a restaurant or whatever, and this guy was like, man, he put me on some veggie pizzas that I had no idea about, and now I love veggie pizzas. I don't even eat meat pizzas no more. So, but I was just using that as an example. But those are the type of things that can necessarily happen. That person was projecting himself. Bloom, it helped you remember them. They were being themselves. And next time you run across them, you be like, hey, and they'll definitely remember you too if you project yourself and let yourself be known. But, people run across people all the time and they're like, hey, all right. And they never completely, project themselves to that person or whatever, or to who they are. And they'll forget them like, oh, that quick. They won't remember seeing you ever again. So I speak to people all the time. Hey, how you doing? All right, good seeing you. Did you see what I'm projecting? So try to do something like that. It will open other people up to you next time. They may come to you and feel more comfortable about talking to you, because some people may, they might already have their opinion about you before they even get to know you. So they could have you mixed up. Give people a chance and give yourself a chance. But I know a lot of people out there are defensive, and they keep their guard up and whatever. But it's tough to get to know people. It's tough getting comfortable because your guard is always up. I mean, it's cool to be aware, but give yourself a chance. Hey man, there are benefits. Give yourself a chance. Project the person that you want them to see you as. And I'm telling you, man, it has worked for me. It definitely has worked for me. Um, People don't necessarily come to me for other stuff. What they know who I am, they see who I am, and that's what they know me for. So they can't necessarily, if something strange ever happens or whatever, they're like, no, that's not his MO. That's not his colors. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't, and you live in a double life, people will eventually find out, see you, and be like, oh, they got you figured out right then. Oh, he ain't. That's not. No, they see you in different pictures and stuff. Oh, I don't know this person. I know the face, but this body language or whatever, or this, I don't know this person. So make sure you're consistent. I promise you, the universe is watching and karma is taking points. Okay, it's your boy J.Peoples, man. We We appreciate y'all for listening. Make sure you go like and subscribe on our Kill the Fear TV. We appreciate y'all, and make sure you projecting the person that you want to be. Make sure you're being who you want to be. No matter who else is around you, you have to be yourself. It's the easiest thing to do. Okay. See y'all next time. Peace, love, and light. Go. Oh, that way.